We're back with another episode of Brew Your Mind, the podcast where we get to drink coffee and beer and you get to sit back and listen to us ramble about what's on our minds. I'm Justin, and I have someone with me this week.
Oh my God. Hello, everyone. It's Jesse. I'm back. It's so good to be here, Justin.
It's so good to have you back.
I heard you do that solo episode, and it was great, brother. But I was just dying to be here, so here I am. I'm out the woods. I'm back with you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm so glad you're here with me. I was so alone. I was so lonely, Jesse. And I know you listened to it, and I had to throw it out there. We had to get an episode out there. But, after I listened to it, I was like, man, it's just my voice. It is not that entertaining. You have this spice. I call it the Jesse spice. It's just a little, a little zing to it, just enough to turn that sucker off to 11,
Put that little oat milk in it, a little spice in it, a little
Speaking
nutmeg,
of that,
something like that.
What are you drinking today?
Well, I'm drinking that, straight up that black coffee. So I got a little oat milk in it, but I'm drinking the. I live right next to a Starbucks, and I ran out of coffee yesterday, so I went over there and bought a bag. So I'm drinking Starbucks coffee, kind of basic again. It's a Yukon. I think it's medium roast. I don't know. It's good. Ooh, look, it's good. Got some oat milk in it. We're solid. And I also got this AHA sparkling water right here because I was getting so heated before trying to set all this up because I lost my damn tripod and I had the makeshift one and I was sweating beads, man. I was so mad. So listen, let's try this watermelon flavor.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. No alcohol. It's too early in the day for me yet. It's 1 o'clock here.
Yeah. A little bit.
I got some jogging and stuff to do. So anyway, what are you drinking, brother?
Yeah, brother. Yee. I got Left Hand Brewing Company. It is I'm showing for the camera, a milk stout nitro. Local beer, just kidding, Colorado. 6%, but I'm a sucker for these stouts, so I'm going to go ahead and pop a top on them. Wow, that was dramatic.
Whoa.
What?
That sounded insane.
That was fantastic.
Oh. Yeah, what you think about that?
Here we go.
Man, I ain't had that left hand in a while. I remember that from. They don't really have that up here in Alaska, I don't think. What you think?
Super smooth with soft roastiness and mocha notes. Yes, that's exactly what I taste. That's good. That's just what the doctor ordered. I went to the doctor yesterday. He was like, "You need a milk stout," and I said, "Okay," and I got one. It's delicious. So here we are.
Okay.
Here we are. Jesse and Justin are back at it again, and I just realized that the intro that I hit on this episode, you could hear it, but you won't be able to see it because I guess my recording messed up. So that's cute. That's how you know we're back if we got some kind of technology issues.
Your camera?
Yeah, I guess it didn't turn on when I hit it, so then it turned on after the intro. So all my animated
that's okay.
movements, you guys are going to miss out, but that's okay. You still hear this sweet, buttery voice.
Don't matter. We'll get it down.
Jesse, so as I mentioned, I was by myself. And I tried to, I didn't want to tell people exactly, what you were doing or why was it exactly I was by myself, because that would it wouldn't give us much to talk about this week. So, the floor is yours, man. Please fill the people in on why you missed out on Brew Your Mind and where have you been all my life?
All right. So every year up here in Anchorage, Elmendorf Air Force Base, there's a glacier nearby called Colony Glacier. And every year they do a POW MIA recovery mission. It wasn't a wartime thing, but there was an aircraft that went down in 1952, and 52 members all died. 52. So they go out every year in June, and they do some digging on the glacier. And I think this was only discovered this aircraft went down in this mountain out there, hit the side of the mountain, and all the wreckage went down, and it was in the middle of winter or something like that, I believe. So, they didn't know where it was at in 1952. It was coming from, I think, Fairchild in Washington, so down near Spokane, I believe. So they were coming up, and they were flying through there, and I guess the weather was pretty bad, and they were flying with IFR, which is instrument flight rules. Basically, you can't really see too well, and I guess hit one of the mountains. I guess they were a lot lower than, yeah. So no one knew exactly where they were for years, and then I think I believe I read someone was flying up around there, like just a civilian aircraft was flying and spotted some wreckage in the glacier down below where the mountain had hit, and that's where Colony Glacier is. And I guess some of it had melted off, and so they were able to see, like, what the heck, what happened here? So I guess they reported seeing something, and then everyone put two and two together and was like, well, that sounds like a huge crash site that could have probably be where the aircraft went down. So now they go out every year in the summer, and they, for about 3 or 4 weeks, a month, I guess, and they do some digging and looking around and bring back any kind of DNA or whatever they can find, and to kind of close the books on where these people went and the families, that type of stuff. So it's cool. So I went out for like 6 days, 7 days the first time, and I was only supposed to go out for one trip. And then the reason why I missed the podcast is last time was because we were going to record that evening, and right before we were going to record, I got a phone call from like 2 people at work, and they were kind of like frazzled and crazy on the phone. They were saying like Kyle got hurt, and Kyle, he's one of my coworkers,
Hey, Kyle.
and a dear listener here, Kyle Chambers. So they said to me on the phone, they expressed that he got hurt, and they made it sound like it was like this huge bad situation. They were like, "Do you have any plans?" And it was my one day off, and it was like a Saturday, and they were like, "Can you get to the airfield like now? Just pack a bag, and you'll be out there for like 4 or 5 more days."
Wow.
I was like, "Well, shit!" And so, man, I just threw everything together. I was frazzled as hell.
But before that, weren't you wanted to get back to the woods, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean,
But not under this
thought I
circumstance,
did.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I wanted to. I really enjoyed going out there. The first little part, because the weather was so nice, and it was like, I don't know, such a good getaway. But then this time was different. It was like I was frazzled and rushed, and I thought Kyle was really, really hurt, so I was just stressing out from that. And then, of course, Katie, my girlfriend, she wasn't like too thrilled that I was leaving last minute. So it's just kind of chaotic. And then we fly out, and we get out and see Kyle, and he's on the cot with his leg wrapped up, and he's fine. So what happened to him was there was these huge wooden tripods, these makeshift tripods that we make out there to just kind of hang things up on or like make shade. And I guess we had this old parachute like tied up around 3 of them or something like that. And I guess the wind picked up and knocked over this huge 3 wooden logs basically tied together, and it knocked over and landed right on Kyle's knee. And it's pretty damn heavy. Yeah, they were all probably like 7 or 8 feet tall each, so they're all wrapped together. So that hits him. They said he was like crawling out from underneath his parachute, screaming like he's like tore up, and it's just crazy. So I go out there, the medics looking at him for like a second, and then the helicopter lands back down, and they put him on, and then I'm there, and then the weather sucks for like the rest of the time. So if you want to watch, I have 2 videos. I have one from the first part, which is the good weather part. Lots of fun. And then there's a second part of this one where basically rescue Kyle. They're both on my YouTube. I guess we'll throw it in the link, but they're fun.
Yeah,
they're cool. So it's really, really beautiful out there. So I guess you'll get, if you want to see what it looks like, I mean, that's probably the prettiest place I've been in Alaska. And that's my second time. I went 2 years ago, and the weather sucked, but this year was amazing because the weather was actually good. And I got sunburnt and tan. Look, I'm all tan right now. So yeah, that's why I didn't make it though.
In the video, you looked a little tanner, and I was like, man, because in Alaska, so where you're at, I know like the very northern tip, it was like 24 hours of sunlight when the first day of summer hit. Now, what is it for you? Is it just like a couple hours of darkness, or
there's not even full darkness? So there's a part in the latest video, the one where we're saving Kyle, and there's a part where it's like it looks like it's nighttime, and we're drinking and dancing around. I don't know if you remember seeing that part.
Yeah.
But it's like dim, but that's like 4 in the morning at that point, 3 or 4 in the morning. So it looks like, I don't know, probably 10 or 11 your time, maybe. Something like that,
Yeah.
That kind of dim evening, like 9, 10, 11, that late summer in the South. But
Yeah.
up here, we were up so late that we stayed up, and I was like, I could tell we're just standing around the fire talking, and it was getting brighter out, and no one was looking at their watches or nothing. So we were like, dude, what time is it? And then Zach, he was out there, he looked at his watch, he was like, oh, it's like 4, almost 4:30. I was like, we need to go to sleep.
Yeah.
It was a good time, though. So check those videos out if you want. It was fun.
Yeah,
I'm glad
absolutely.
to be back. Oh,
Go check
headphones.
those videos out. It's like the pictures and the videos that I almost said Justin. I talked to myself. No, Jesse did and captured. They're pretty awesome, pretty remarkable. And Sam the other day, those that are listening, Sam Decker, the guest that popped on a couple episodes ago, he was telling me how epic your pictures were that he saw on Instagram the other day, and he wanted me to pass on the compliments, I guess. So he was a huge fan of them,
dude.
and he was like, "So Jesse just gets to go out and take pictures." And
Well, kind of.
well, yeah. So I was like, I mean, like it's not his sole job, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
a sweet thing that he can do on the side and just
Yeah.
absolutely crush it. So yeah, they're super awesome. Make sure you guys go check it out because Jesse's legit.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Appreciate it, Sam. Yeah, I saw he liked 2 of them, and I was like, oh, nice. I popped up on his feed.
Yep.
Yeah, it's cool. Also, shout out, do a little intermission. I'm wearing a Crown Supply hat here today. I
Let's
got the
go.
pink dad hat on. So, I told Tev I'd be repping it. And actually, didn't I wear that last time? I wore the beanie, didn't I?
You wore the beanie
Didn't I?
last time, yeah.
Yeah, so I got this one on. So appreciate it once again, Tev. I love this. I love this stuff. So y'all make sure. Well, I guess we'll throw the link in that description again. Again, he has not sponsored us officially. He's not paying us any money. He's just a good dude, and he's got some good.
Not an ad.
Yeah, he's got some good quality headgear right now, and a few other things. I think maybe some shirts and hoodies are coming soon, but I don't know his website. Crown Supply Store.com, I think.
Yeah.
So link in the description. Anyway, Justin.
Yeah,
what's
to add on
new
to
with
that,
you?
to add on to
okay.
that, Tev, what's great about the Crown Supply, first of all, the hats are awesome, and the logo and all that, embrace your journey. That's great. I'm all for that too. But he's also like giving back to like the money that he makes. He's also giving some back to like the community. Like he's, I think it was one of his local high schools. Crown Supply is actually gonna be a sponsor, joining like other local sponsors. But they're helping, like he's helping like raise funds for the upcoming season. And that's just one example of him like giving back to the community. So that's like his full intention with the business is, trying to give back. So I think that's really awesome and all for that. I'm gonna keep trying to throw that in there. And I know he had a Father's Day special. It was like 40% off dad's hats. It was pretty good deal. So we'll try to throw those things out whenever we see them. And if you guys haven't already, go check out that website. But enough of that. Hashtag not an ad. Tev, love you, dog. Yeah. Here we are. I'm in Florida. Jesse's in Alaska. We're closer.
How is your place?
It's
I haven't
great.
really talked to you.
Jesse and I haven't talked like this since I've been back. It's just been texting. So this is also a catch-up period for us. So this is like you guys listening right now. Like you're just like back in the day when you could pick up a landline phone in the house when like your parents or whatever was on the other phone, and you're just like listening there, and you're just like breathing. Just covering your breath so they can't hear you listening. You're just eavesdropping into their conversation. That's what we're doing right now. Jesse and I are going to have a conversation, and you guys are going to be eavesdropping. No. Dude, Florida is hot.
Yeah.
My goodness. I forgot what it was like.
Yeah,
because
man.
England was a different kind of warm, and it didn't even get that hot. If it did, it was like 1 or 2 days. But, like, I mean, just walking out of my house and my sunglasses getting all fogged up because the humidity. And
Yeah.
it's like 7 in the morning. I drive to work, and it's already like 88, 89. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, what is it
this?
there right now? Like, what's the temp?
Let's see. Right now, it is currently 91.
Woo! And
Heat
super
index 102.
humid.
Yeah, I bought a lawnmower the other day, and I finally got to use it today. And it's today when I realized my yard was too big, and thankfully I got like a self-propelled mower, so I can just coast with it. But I'm out there in it, and I think I just do like one lap, and I'm just drenched. And it's like I completely forgot what this was like, you know?
Yeah.
The South is here, and it's hot, it's warm, and now
Dude,
everything's
I'm gonna be
closing down
feeling
again.
it.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
like 64 out right now. 64. Wow. And I'm going to be moving to Savannah, Georgia, so I'm going to be in the same boat you are, that hot, humid mugginess, slapping us in the face.
It's gonna slap us, yeah.
I don't know, man. We'll get used to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we'll hang out, we'll pod together, and everything will be great. We won't have to wear a mask, you know. Who knows,
Dude? I gotta say, it's been whenever you go out. So where I was out camping, right? There was no cell phone service, nothing. All we had was a satellite phone, which barely worked.
Yeah.
So it was so peaceful and so nice. You realize, like, man, I don't need all this junk. I don't need all this again with the Twitter, you know, like all this nonsense. And I get back, and it's just like immediate. It just seems like I know all this stuff is going on, and in the long run, it's like going to be good and change is good. But at the same time, like I was saying before, like all this stuff kind of weighs on you so heavy. I mean, I guess it depends on who you are, but for me, all this stuff, it's just so damn negative all the time. And I'm like, man, like I don't know. I don't have the capacity to care for everything in the world. And once you go out disconnected, you're like, man, I was like holding on some weight from all this stuff all the time, you know, all this, you know, and then I was out in the woods, didn't know what was going on. I come back, I find out Seattle's in chaos with this whole Chaz thing. And I was like, man, can I go back to the woods?
Yeah.
People are yelling at each other for not wearing a mask. All of a sudden, wearing a mask is like you're a snowflake. If you don't wear one, you're sticking it to the man, and you know, I don't understand what's going on. Like, why is wearing a mask like a political thing?
Yeah, that turned quickly.
Yeah, that happened quick.
I don't know. I myself have just been like, you know what, I'm wearing a mask wherever I go. Whatever. I'm just gonna coast it, you know, and if it's recommended, then I'm gonna do it, you know, and we'll get over this eventually, you know. Just people got to do their own part, you know. It just comes down to that. It's crazy that, you know, we have to depend on others to make it through this, but here we are.
It's really bizarre, man. It's really bizarre. It makes me even more want to just live somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. I think I'd be fine, honestly. If I have a little grocery store nearby, you know, and I don't know. That's all I really need.
I love that you mentioned that because I'm finishing up Breaking Bad right now, and it's like at the last part where Walter's living out in New Hampshire all by himself, and that's what the image came to my head. You saying live by yourself, just out in the cabin, you know, in the middle of snow. But yeah, I get what you're saying with the disconnect, because I mean, when I was deployed, it was like the necessities that I didn't have when I was in the States or in England, or wherever when I wasn't deployed. They just didn't mean anything when I was out there. I was like, I am doing fine without them. Everything is great. And then, you know, I get back and it's like, well, do I really need this? Do I need to focus on this part or connect with this? You know, it just kind of like turns your life into a little, I don't know, you view it from a different angle. That's for sure. But yeah.
It's so easy to forget that. Like,
oh, yeah.
You know, like you come back and you get used to all of your stuff, and then you end up looking at Instagram and Twitter and all. You get right back in your habits, and I don't know. Then I just feel like I just overanalyze everything. Then, and I don't know it's just hard to find a healthy balance, because you go to the extreme of not having anything. You're out in the woods, no phone, nothing, and then you come back and you're like, what's too much? Is it okay for me to look at Twitter right now? Is this going to cause me some mental dilemma right now? You know, thinking about whatever drama going on, you know, with Chris D'Elia, you know, like texting 17-year-old girls.
Yeah.
And all that. Did you see that?
I did, yeah.
I don't really care. I don't find him very funny, so I wasn't too upset by the whole thing. So I was like, well, he's weird. He's like 39 or something. I was like,
it's just another one I wrote off, yeah.
Yeah, you knew that was coming, buddy. What were you doing?
Yeah, but in regards to the social media, I've actually started to, you know, on iPhones, you can actually set like a screen time for certain apps or whatever. So I set it for like Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, like a certain amount of minutes per day. And then you cut it, or you get to that time limit. It says, you can't unless you type in the passcode. The first couple of days, I would just type in the passcode. I'd be like, scoff, whatever. We're going to keep doing this.
Scoff City.
Scoff City, you know what I'm saying? But now it actually, I think about it. I'm like, okay, I really don't need to be on this platform right now. Like, what's the point? What am I going to look at? Especially when no sports happening. Like, I could care less, what's going on,
Yeah.
But, yeah, here we are. Big changes. You mentioned change is good, and I feel like it'd be a good time since both you and I are just professionals and we have dealt with change quite frequently, I guess. Like you just most recently, boom, you just stop on a dime and you have to completely change what you were doing that day and go out to the woods. And I thought it'd be good to talk about, from our personal experiences or our personal opinion, what would be the best way to cope with change? Or is there anything that you've found that you could, I don't know, use to get over change or I guess kind of adjust as quick as possible? I mean, if you don't have anything yet, and I can let you think, I can dive into this if you'd like.
I mean, I have a few ideas, but I'd rather hear what you have to say, and I'll probably brainstorm some more thoughts from me.
Cool. And I think you mentioned it probably before when we were on an episode, like, let's see. Sorry, I had to restart that camera. That's awkward. You're talking about like me moving back to the States or something like that, and how I had the attitude of like let's just get the move on, and that big change. And I felt like a big thing with understanding the change, maybe getting over the change, and adapting to it would be at first like acknowledging it and knowing that it's actually a thing, and actually. I'll dive into the stress part about it because I feel like that's what gets the most attention when you think about like a big life change or you having to go out to the woods. I mean, I'm sure probably stress kicked in a little bit for you. Like, well, I had this planned, or like I was doing this. The routines kind of got thrown off, so the stress builds up a little bit. But to dive off of that, there was this TED Talks, and do you watch any TED Talks?
Only when I'm forced to. With a gun in my head. No, I'm just kidding.
That's a bit extreme, but I get that. But no, I'm the same way. I don't watch TED Talks at all. And we had to watch this one for work, I guess, a couple months back. But it's this, what's her profession? She's a health psychologist, but her name is Kelly McConigal. But she did like a little TED Talks about how to make stress your friend, and those I'll get the summary to it, but I'd definitely check it out if you have a problem with stress or you get stressed out easily. She brings us some good points. Like, have you ever heard of this hormone called oxytocin?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I never really heard of it before. But supposedly it's called the hug hormone. Because like it's when it's kind of like pumped out, it makes you kind of like want to, I don't know, become more social or more abrasive and that kind of thing. Does that make sense to you? Is that something you've heard before?
It makes you want to be. Wait, which one? More social or abrasive?
Not abrasive, more social.
Oh, okay. I was like, that sounds.
That sounds quite
I want
opposite.
to be more social, but also mean and like.
I want to hug you and hurt you. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But supposedly, like when you're stressed out, like oxytocin is part of like this like stress response, and it gets pumped out, and that's why like whenever you are stressed out, you feel the need to like, I don't know, kind of like tell someone what's going on, or wanting some kind of support from someone, or just like I don't know, just letting it go. So
yeah.
She was diving down into like the science part of it, of like embracing that oxytocin, and like the more that you actually try to become more sociable and acknowledge that acknowledge that stress and acknowledge that stress response, it can actually like help you out more like a cardiovascular. She dives into like the health part of it. It's crazy. I'm not going to dive completely into it because I just watched the video a few times. But check the video out, because I did not know like you could end up turning stress into a positive thing. Before I thought stress was just a negative thing. Oh, I'm stressed, and then you just got to get over yourself, that kind of thing. Well, that's not the case, but
It's kind of like viewing, just instead of viewing it, it's just like choosing to view it a certain way. I think maybe can be like training yourself to view it a certain way. Like instead of viewing challenges as like a stressful negative ordeal, view it as like think of yourself like the feeling after you accomplish something. Like the feeling I have before going on a jog or going to the gym is like, this sucks and I hate this and I don't want to go. But then what motivates me is thinking of, okay, after that, after I get through that little tiny thing, the growth at the end and the feeling that I'll have will be much better than me just sitting here and not doing it. So like when you're going through a change and you're like dreading all of like the moving and this and that, but then just think of yourself on the other side, like, okay, if I just take this and use, switch my perception on it, the way I'm viewing it, and think of myself like after the fact, of all the positive things that can come out of it, think of the things that can make you excited, change in a good way, like living in a new place with all these different, opportunities to explore different little parts of the town, whatever, different restaurants, all the hiking you can get into. Just view it in that way instead of all the little, dumb stuff in between. Like you got to figure out all the, the details that everyone hates about moving. But just think about, just your perspective on it. And I'm preaching to myself because I hate moving. I'm very resistant to change. I don't like it, but I keep doing it out of my career mostly. But it's hard because you got to reset your friends all the time. And then, if I start thinking like, damn, I'm moving again, I get sad. I'm like, I got to I got to get comfortable in the new city again. I got to find a place to live. Where do I want to live? It gets overwhelming real quick. And then you got to think, I got to find this good circle of friends. Is my work going to be okay? You know what I mean? And then you start viewing it in that way. It's such a dreadful negative thing. And that's when the stress you're like inducing stress on yourself because of the way you're viewing it, So I think if you can just train yourself to view these things as like, just think of if you have the right attitude, just think of the you on the other side. It'd be much easier. I don't know. It's just like instead of thinking of like 10 times I'm going to go to the gym and suffer and hate it, think of the you after the 10 times you go. What's the result of that little bit of grinding you're doing? You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. And I got to preach myself because I'm the same way, even with something like video editing, talking myself into sitting down at this computer for like 4 hours and doing a video for what purpose? I don't know, but just to get it done. And then I'm just so much happier. So I got to think of myself like that feeling after I'm done, I'm looking at it, I'm happy. I've captured this whole memory and I post it and I don't really care if anyone sees it, but I have it, and I feel good.
That's what matters.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of work, it's a lot of frustration, but you got to keep, if you want to get really good at something, you got to keep just like viewing yourself like, think of the good feeling after you've done a little bit of frustrating, learning through the process, and it sucks. That's why people quit at stuff, because it sucks all the time. Like learning guitar is the worst because your fingertips hurt. But if you just keep doing it, your fingertips will get used to it, and then your fingers just know where to go, and you're like, what? How did this happen? Like 2 weeks ago, I couldn't even play this thing for 30 minutes without my finger. It was like wanting to bleed, but you just got to keep just chugging away, man. And then you won't notice the fingertips anymore,
That's the thing. Those that succeed or achieve their goals, they have their eyes on the prize, and they have that feeling of crushing it already kind of in them and fueling them. So I think you can also spin that for changing or any kind of change, a big move or a new job or your grocery store shut down. You have to go to a new grocery store. It's just little things like that, You just have to know that you have to look at the end goal, You just can't think of, oh, I haven't even started the job yet. This is all the things I have to do to train for the job. This is all the people that I'm going to have to work with that I don't know to get ready for the job. You have to look past that. And then you look back at it, like just looking back when I was in England at, all the people I met and the job that I did. It's crazy how far I've come for that. But, when I first arrived, I was just like, wow, there's so much happening here. There's so much going on. I don't know anybody. I'm in a new country.
Learning how to drive on a different side of the road, like all that
kind of stuff. And now I look back at it and I think about it, I'm like, man, that was easy. That was good. I just kept pressing on, and and I put my head down, and I was golden.
Yeah.
So I think it helps, especially in our positions where we're pretty much told to pick our lives up and move on every 3-4 years or whatever. So we kind of got an experience under our belt. So, but for those that it might be a new thing, maybe there's something that could help them out with, So
isn't it funny how the way you view like thinking about all these things you gotta learn? Like, man, I gotta learn how to drive on the other side of the road, and then or any task I do it. I get overwhelmed so easy, and I still try and remind myself like that feeling when you do something that's huge in your head. You're like, this is so daunting. Then you do it. You're like, what was I stressed out about? I had all this anxiety a week built up because of this one thing, and I did it, and that huge relief. And I'm like, that was stupid simple. So we end up like building up these problems in our head, and then we procrastinate, and then it just builds up all this thing, and this small little dumb thing becomes this huge daunting thing. And I mean, I don't know. I think you can view any change or challenge that way. No one likes change. Naturally, you get comfortable with what you know. Yeah. But that, you don't grow at all, though, if you don't get... That's why I always tell people, like my family, I'm like, the best thing I ever did was move away. Not that I hated where I lived at all. I could have stayed there. But the growth, who knows what I would have been like.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have grown at all or changed or viewed things differently, I might have had a lot of backwards thinking, maybe, quote unquote. I'm not saying I'm, thinking the right way all the time. But you know what I'm saying? I might have been less open-minded about a lot of things, who knows? I just think people need to just push themselves out of their little comfort zone, like move away. That's the easiest, best thing you can do. Well, not always easy, but that's the best thing you can do. Like when you're young and you don't have any big responsibilities, you don't have some career tying you down, just challenge yourself and move away from where you're from, just for a little bit. Yeah. And that'll change you so much. And then the next move will be less daunting. And then after that, it becomes easy. It's always easy. And you'll look back like, why was I freaking out about this? Learn how to drive on the other side of the road. That's easy. In hindsight. It's all easy. And then you have this great confidence going forward.
Yeah,
like
that
you're not
great
scared
confidence.
of the next move,
I'll admit I lost that great confidence when I started driving back here in the United States again. My first time driving on the right side of the road, I was let's just say I was definitely below the speed limit just because it just felt so. And I'll tell you what, being back and just going to the grocery store and just being around American people, it is so weird to me. Like I can't describe the feeling, but it is just a weird feeling because I don't know, just like knowing that everyone's American around me and. I don't know. There's not that culture barrier that was there for 4 years when I was there, like having to acknowledge like, okay, this person's British or whatever. I should probably address them this way or that way. But it's just, I don't know. I haven't adapted to it quite
madam.
yet.
My lord.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
You doing all right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But but the driving,
Dude. Has it been a southern warm, like, are the people there kind to you so far, or is it just kind of about the same?
It's hit or miss. Like I got my haircut for the first time since England in Georgia, and then I got it again yesterday here. And I went to a local barbershop because it's a brand new area, so brand new area for me. So I had no idea where to get my haircut. I looked online and I was like, I'm gonna choose this one. It was like throwing darts. I get in there, I sit down, and this guy runs his own barbershop. He's like 50-something years old. And I'll tell you, he is the most conservative person that I've met in a long time. It did not take long until he started telling me about his how he felt and his point of view of things and whatnot. But just the nicest guy, though. Just the southern hospitality, and just, like, being all thankful for my, he cuts plenty of military hair, it's right off base, not too far from it, but just a nice guy, just a warm welcome right when I walked through the door, and I was like, this is that southern hospitality they're talking about. And it's funny because some people, that I've met at work, they were like, this isn't this isn't Florida. This is my opinion, but this isn't Florida. Florida's like Miami, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville. This is still Alabama to me, I think, in this area. And I was like, yeah, you know, I can kind of see that, you know, being around now and driving around and talking to some locals in some places, you know, some whatever. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. I was just about to keep talking. But yeah, Alabama,
awesome,
here we are.
It looks Alabama, here we are. It looks amazing there. I saw those white sand beaches and all that stuff. That looks awesome.
Yeah, dude.
I can't wait.
We're gonna have them White Claws and them sandy beaches. You know what I'm saying? You ready?
Did you like it?
We're gonna throw
you said that last week. I think you said you tried it.
Yeah. See, listen, guys.
I did listen.
My own co-host, my BFF, listens to an episode that he's not even on. If that's not pure love.
You know what's funny? I don't listen to the ones that me and you do because I hate to hear my own voice. I swear, I think I'm the biggest idiot, and I cringe. I'm like, I don't want. Why do? And I just like doubt myself, honestly. So I don't listen to it that much because I usually end up just. I love listening to you, and then whenever I talk, I'm like. I'm just like, I don't know.
Dude, I completely get that. So imagine me like trying to edit an episode with just myself. That was, I don't know. I kind of shortchanged it a little bit because I just got tired of hearing my own voice over and over again. So
it was only like 27 minutes, right?
Yeah, I was not going much further than that. I was like, we'll end it there. But
I imagine that'd be difficult. But I don't know. It's crazy, like seeing these people that listen to us and they enjoy it so much, and it's only positive things I hear back. And I'm always ready for the negative. I'm always ready for man, these people are going to be like, Justin's good, and this other guy gets a wild and dumb, and he says some stupid stuff. That's what I think. Isn't that weird how you think? It's just weird. Like, I feel like that way normally.
I feel like that's how we have to think when, you know, you do like a pod and you just have to like, you become so vulnerable, you know, you become so open and you start just talking about whatever you just expect for some kind of pushback. Yeah. But I just haven't seen it really. If there's some, give it to us, please. We're ready. We're racing for this.
Send it to Justin, not me. I'm very sensitive. No, but like you're right. Like you get on here and like I definitely want to talk about uncomfortable things. I want to be as genuine as whatever, you know. Talk about personal stuff to it, you know, to a degree. You know, not crazy out there, but so when you do that, you always expect like you're exposing something bad that's not PC or sometimes, or you don't know. Like I know when we did that last episode, we were talking about the Black Lives Matter and this and that. Right after we got done, we were both like, did we say anything wrong?
Exactly.
Like, were we okay? And I was like, I think we're okay. Like, and if we did say something wrong, I feel like hopefully the people will know our hearts and this and that. But that's not the case with the internet. People will find they won't get to they won't go through the journey with you. They'll pick up on the one thing at the very tail end or something that's 10 years ago. So either way, vice versa, they're not seeing the transition. You know, they're not knowing who you are. They just see the this guy was in blackface, and they don't know what happened 10 years ago. And you know, something. I'm not saying that's fine, but just an example. You know, people don't know the journey that people go through and the change and where they are now. And 10 years is a pretty long, you know, different time, I guess, but not different. But people grow a lot in 10 years from when you're like 20 to 30.
Shoot, I mean, you ain't lying.
You know, you move away. You know, you're from some small town or something. You might say something dumb. You know, you know, you got some crazy thoughts. You might say, man, gay marriage is evil. You know what I'm saying? And then like 10 years later, you totally change your viewpoint because you're like open-minded. You've learned more.
Is lemon.
You know? You learn more. You know what I'm saying? Like the Black Lives Matter thing, like all this going on, people are learning more. They're like, okay, we're like people are listening and there's more dialogue. And, you know, that's what it is. You can't take the people that are listening now and then go back and cancel them from their closed-mindedness 10 years ago. You got to look at them now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even remember what I said. Oh, so anyway, we didn't say anything bad on that episode. I don't think so. That's what I was getting at. I think we're okay, but we doubt ourselves all the time. You know what I mean? What that little rant I just did, I was like thinking just now, did I say something problematic? I don't know. You know?
It's good because I'm not going to touch it and we're just going to post it. And then everyone's going to be like, yay, Jesse.
I even
We
get
love
scared,
Jesse.
like, eventually, like I just said, like, any little phrase I say sarcastically, like,
Yeah.
10 years ago, gay marriage is evil. I get scared
Yeah.
that people are going to take that, no words before it, they're just going to get me going, gay marriage is evil, and then use it against me
Just post it on YouTube.
without context. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Probably not.
I feel like 32 episodes into Brew Your Mind, people know what to expect. And and they're gonna
we're trying.
they're gonna like it. All right, damn it.
Damn it, dude! I got to talk about something you mentioned on your solo episode. You said,
Were you clapping while you said that?
I was snapping. You said something about merch. What's going on? We haven't even talked about merch. You sent me a link, but is there
Yeah.
something more in the works? We gotta get this thing going. We should talk to Tev. Tev, help us out.
Tev, get the merch running. Yeah, so we got nothing new, Jesse. Nothing more than what we've already talked about.
Okay, I'm excited, man. We gotta get that. We got to get that ball rolling.
The wheels are greased though, and they're ready. They're ready to go 0 to 60. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that is for sure. So what's next on you know what, I gotta talk about something. I gotta say,
Okay.
we're talking about living life, change and all this and that, stress and anxiety. You get anxiety from the change. But I was thinking, man, you gotta live your life as honest as possible, because I feel like honesty all the time. No matter if you think you can get ahead in life by taking advantage of someone, but that's not honest. That's not good integrity. And we're talking about living our life the purest way we can. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can hang your hat up on that life. You've lived, you can sleep well at night. So I'm just saying, you want to try and change the way you view challenges and change. And, and taking those stressors and viewing it in a good, positive way.
Yeah.
Think of yourself on the other side. Just with the same way as, telling little white lies here and there. Those things stack up.
Oh,
And you know what I mean? And I just found that way, just like with being in a relationship. Sometimes you just want to tell the white lies just to keep the peace, And those things stack up. And then you got all this anxiety. Even though you haven't done anything wrong, you're just trying to keep the peace, Because I think some people can, convince you to just, a little white lie here and there just to keep the ship going straight forward. You know what I mean? No little resistance. And I'm the worst because I hate confrontation. All of it. But then I end up having all these little tiny little things that I've been just trying to keep the peace, avoid, damage control. And I'm not saying I've been lying to Katie. I haven't. In the past, I have.
Jesse is
And-
using this time for all our listeners
Confession.
to confess some lies to Katie.
No, we're through it all, but I'm just saying, it caused a lot of anxiety, and it all stacks up, just like challenges and change. And you think about all these things, then you end up procrastinating everything. You don't address anything, and then anxiety kicks in. That's why there's so many different reasons why people have anxiety. They're not addressing things. I think there's a lot of anxiety in the world with people. Maybe it's a trendy thing people like to talk about. Like, I have anxiety, haha. That whole thing.
Yeah.
That doomer kind of, humor or whatever. But, for real, man, I started going to therapy. I ain't been in a while because I'm good now. But I was
so
going
good,
because, my anxiety was out of control. And then I started, going. And I started thinking, what's the reason for me feeling anxious all the time? And it came down to change. I wanted to stay exactly where I was. I didn't want to go any further in a relationship because I was scared. I didn't want to go through that stress, the exposure, being vulnerable. Just like when you move somewhere uncomfortable, you're vulnerable. You know what I mean?
Very.
But in the long run, it was causing no healing for me. I just felt the same scared, reckless person. Short term, I was comfortable. Long term, it's not any growth. So I'm just saying, stop lying. Start to view your stressors and challenges in a positive way. I'm telling you, you get in the gym that one day you're going to be bitching and moaning like this sucks, but then right after you get out, you're not going to regret it. You're going to say, why did I make a big deal out of that? You know what I
You're
mean?
gonna look in the mirror, you're gonna flex, and you'll be like, damn.
Exactly. Like you could take all these different things, like just going to the gym, going on the jog, and you could view that in the same way as addressing the problems in your life. Addressing a problem is just as dreadful, to me, as going and lifting weights. I don't like it. But like right after you get through that, you're going to feel much better. And you're going to say, that was so easy. What am I doing? Why do I keep procrastinating all these things that are just positive for me? I need to learn how to drive on the other side of the road. It's easy.
Just do it. Just do it. Go out there, drive on the left side of the road, and tell me how it goes.
Like, you got to move. You got to move to Florida from England, No more sirs and lords and nothing. You're down there with the Florida man.
Well, Lord, can I have some tea, please?
Dude, that's a culture. That's a difference in the culture right there from England to damn Florida man.
And to be honest, I didn't think it was going to be, especially like moving to England. I was like, oh, they speak the same language as us. No. Yeah, sure, it's English, but it's a different kind of English.
Yeah.
Shout out to Liam. What's up, man? Long time no talk.
Oh. Yeah, Blackpool.
Yeah. Put some respect on the name. But yeah, down here in Florida, though, I don't know. It's crazy because during this time in this area, there's just a bunch of tourists. So people are just going crazy and you're just running into a whole bunch of other people. And I'm still renting a car. Did I tell you that?
No.
My car still isn't ready to get picked up. So I'm just out here slumming it in the rental car. And it's crazy because in England, rental car is like $30 to $40 a week. That's it.
And here it's like,
you get over here to the USA, it's disgusting. So
yep.
That's okay. Hey, I made it to the States on time. That's all that matters. We're good.
Are you still alone by yourself there?
I'm still alone.
Tori is in Augusta.
Georgia.
Nice.
Yeah. Gonna do the old pickup once I get my car and all that kind of stuff.
Pickup.
And then you'll be in Georgia when? November?
Should be November. Which is a good time to get there because it's not in the summer like you did, so it's not going to be thrown in my face like it'll be cold here.
Yeah.
And then I'll get there, it'll probably be in the 70s, I believe.
Dude, I'm going to be there before you, and I'm just going to have like a big old sign like you're back from a deployment and be like, welcome home, Jesse!
Dude.
And then you're just going to be like, sick, and then you're going to walk right by me.
Forget this nonsense.
You don't remember what I look like, dude. It's been so long.
Oh man, what else is new? What else is new on the life? Man, I think we've covered quite a bit.
I think, yeah.
Oh, I got to talk. Let's talk video games for a second.
Yeah, absolutely. You played The Last of Us Part 2.
Man, let me tell you, the internet.
And at first, you weren't a fan.
At first, I didn't know how it felt. Yeah, and that was only like 2 hours in, maybe an hour and a half, something like that. And I was like, gameplay wise, I was like, I don't know yet. Like, it feels like nothing new. But then that quickly fades away. It's solid. It's good. Now, here's a fun story about this game. All right? I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. I just highly, 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 highly recommend you play it. The first one, for sure. And then this one blew me away. So, what's funny about this is the story got leaked like a month before it came out or so. And the story that got leaked was not accepted by the fans, more or less. So without context, it's like, oh man, that looks like I even saw it too. Of course, it got spoiled for me, and I was like, well, that kind of sucks, but we'll see. I wasn't like closing myself off. Anyway, The internet has played the game, and 9 out of 10 reviews I've seen are still hating the game, and it makes me think like I'm a moron because I'm seeing what they intended, or something, or everyone else is a moron. Because I thought it was incredibly well written. It's just so clever, man. You got to play it. They basically make you hate this person who you don't play as. You're playing as this girl, and then this other girl does something horrible, and you hate this person. And then halfway through the game, you're playing as the other person, like 4 days before this horrible thing happens. So you see her perspective. And it just ends. It's great. It's a great ending. I thought it was incredible. And if you disagree with me, I think you don't see the point of it at all, and you're shallow. And I win.
Boom.
I
Roasted.
win this one. Okay.
Jesse always wins and he's not shallow.
Dude, and it's it's the most brutal game I've ever. There were some
Roast.
brutal, shocking, probably too far moments. I can think of one for sure that happened in the game. Just like they probably went too far. That was shocking. So please play it. And Justin, if you play it, then I'll talk to you about it. You got to play it, man. Have you played the first one though?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
No.
I
started it. I started it. It's just like every other game. I start it and then I just stop and play the stupid multiplayer mainstream game.
Oh, you're that guy you're the gamer that I don't like.
I'm the guy you hate.
Yeah,
Jesse.
You're the one that buys Madden every year, and that thing.
Not this year. I'm not buying it this year.
And the
better believe
Duty.
it.
And then I'm over here like, man, I hate video games. And then a good story comes out, and then I'm like, yes. And that's when I see the true beauty in video games when they can make you.
Well, listen, I am really excited about, and I think you're excited about it. Maybe you'll play it a lot, and maybe this will be a game we can talk about like crazy. But Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah, Cyberpunk. It's gonna be great because the dudes that made Witcher
dropped the review, and yeah.
And I saw some gameplay, and everyone that's played it has been like, it's worth the hype. So it looks great. It's going to be great. And that company that does it, they're solid. They did amazing, solid work on The Witcher. So I imagine they're going to put just as much love and tender care. So I'd love to see it. I love to see a good gaming company you root for. You know, every now and then you'll see some that they just kill it, and you just, yes. Take all my money. I don't care. Like, I believe in your company, and I love what you're doing.
Use it when you need it.
Yeah. So that's going to be a great game for sure. And that comes out like September or something, I think. No? Yes?
Yeah, I think September, October. But regardless, I think I'm going to get it for the new system.
Ooh, when does all that? See, I'm out of the loop, man. When does all this stuff come out?
Supposedly, the next gen consoles come out mid-November.
They usually do.
Season.
Yeah, the holidays.
They're gonna be crazy expensive at first, but I feel like it is an investment, especially for me, that I am willing to make. So,
well,
yes,
to me,
it's gonna be exciting.
To me, it's like they're expensive, but at the same time, I mean,
you do so much with it.
You do, and then I've had my Xbox and PlayStation 4 for like 5 years.
Yeah.
So
since
So like, I don't know if you had bought it for like 400, 300 or something each.
Yeah.
So like you think it's a lot at first, but then if you equate that to building a PC, good luck. You're gonna have to update everything like every 2 or 3 years, and like a graphics card alone, a top tier one, I think they're like $800 or something.
Yeah.
Like one of the top ones, but I don't know, man. PC gamers are something else. I'm not quite into that yet. But I'm just saying, like, people complain about console prices, but thinking about what it is and that one small package, and you don't have to do anything else.
Yeah,
I think it's fine. So I'll pay $600 for one. I don't care. I do care.
Throw some G's on that.
It'd probably be 5 or 6. I would bet.
Probably, my guess.
Which everyone gets mad at the video game industry for like microtransactions and this and that. But like, if you think about inflation and you think about the quality of video games and the time that goes into it, it went way up, and the price has not went up at all. It's been $60 since I was a kid for a new game. I think it went up once. I remember it being $50 for a new game. That was the standard back in like Nintendo 64 days, and then like maybe PlayStation 2 time, or something. Maybe I don't know. They kicked it up to $60. That's the standard.
The controller price is the one that's increased. I mean, now it's the price of a game.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. Hey, that's Brew Your Mind gaming right there. I think we shut it down after that.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm looking at myself and I'm looking pretty pale, pretty white. This light above me is making me look like a ghost, and you're gonna be like super tan right beside me. Like I'm looking over to my left right now. I'm looking at how tan you are. Look at you. Look at yourself. You're so tan.
Dude, I am. I got really tan.
I'm so tan.
Well, if you spend like 11 days out in the Alaskan sun all the time, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it.
You don't hear about the Alaskan sun often. Either.
Nah, it's brutal. It's not hot.
You got good parents.
I quit now. I'm done. See ya.
That's it. Shut it down after that. Jesse, anything you want to say, send off?
Let me think, man. Look, you know what? Anyone listening maybe this far, thank you for listening. And if you want us to talk about anything specific, anything that interesting, any new topics, whatever it is, please send it to us. DM us on Instagram or whatever. Just get a hold of us any way you can, and let us know. We'll shoot. We'll go through it. We have no problem. We could do that, And again, thanks for listening. I'm glad to be back here, and don't forget to brew your mind.
See ya.
No.